Welcome to Table Talk, the show where business families share candid stories of growth, leadership, and legacy. I'm Matt Knight, your host and executive director with the Alberta Business Family Institute. Today's guest leads a company whose work you hear every time a call connects to a network and stays up, but rarely see. Sunco Communications and Installations started around a kitchen table, so very, very appropriate for this podcast called Table Talk, back in the 2000s. 25 years later, it's a national integrator serving over 16,000 clients across Canada with telecom, cloud, and managed IT solutions, all while staying proudly family-owned. Today, I'm joined by Schoenberger, who joined Sunco in the field and rose up through sales and operations before becoming president in 2020. Under his watch, Sunco acquired Isosceles Business Systems in 2022, Zyco Canada's on-premise PBX businesses in 2024, and pushing the firm into the East and expanding across Canada, looking at SD-WAN and SASE services. So Sean, welcome to Table Talk. Can we maybe start by you telling us what some of those terms I used in our introduction mean, and telling us a little bit more, maybe in plain English, what Sunco does today?
Hi, Matt. It's great to be on the podcast. Definitely can share some of those terms that nobody really knows. The SASE, software as a service. Typically, if you're hearing it on a verbal communication, SaaS would be the short phrase of that. So that's terminology that unless you're in the managed service or telecom space, you're probably not going to know. SD-WAN is primarily 15 years ago was a WAN solution that was only serviced by the carriers, and now it's really opened up with different appliances to layer on over the internet for security-defined wide area networks, which is a big play today, obviously, with cybersecurity and what have you. That's a driving factor, so your information is a little bit more secure crossing over the internet.
Nice. Okay, and then maybe jump into kind of the 60-second elevator pitch of Sunco.
The elevator pitch of Sunco, we strive to make business communications easier for our clients. The primary focus for us is you shouldn't have to think about how you pick up the phone, whether it's on a computer, on a cell phone, what have you, and how you deal with somebody. It should be easy, seamless, and no issue. And that's right from our managed service side on the IT to the telecom side if it's delivering the internet or the voice service over the internet.
Okay. So really just kind of simplifying communication for people so they just almost take it for granted. They know that it works and they know that it's there.
Correct. Yeah,
Nice.
Absolutely. I think unfortunately telecom has a bad rap for itself today. So it's trying to up everybody's expectations you shouldn't dislike calling your telecom company.
Yep. Yeah, you should have a good relationship with them and want to have those interactions. So maybe let's go back to the beginning. So I understand your parents founded Sunco in the 2000s, and your dad kind of had some experience in the trade in his father's shop. What can you tell us about that? What kind of vision did your father or grandfather share that kind of started the company out?
So it was actually my uncle.
Your uncle, okay.
So, and my cousin, however, in saying that, my uncle is also my godfather.
Okay.
To make that a little bit more tangled even. And then my cousin was in it as well. So he had started the business prior to becoming Sunco, and then Sunco became Sunco Communications Installations Limited in September 1st of 2000. At that point, my uncle had retired, and my cousin was an owner of it, and then I became a partner later, which has worked out fantastic. We have a great relationship. I've known him we did several things growing up. His parents were my godparents, so we did several different family activities. I was out at their lake lots. It started then when I was 14, given the relationship there, I actually started running cable with them in the summer. So I want to say that was summer of grade 9. I started essentially working in the telecom industry.
Wow.
And then, so every summer since then, and that kind of pushed me into telecom at NAIT, and I won't say what year that is. And graduated from that, and then started working full time. At that point, we were doing installations and still doing lots of cabling and stuff.
Yep.
And moving forward, I knew that I didn't really want to be crawling in ceilings for the rest of my life. So it was trying to deliver a path on our business model to make it so that everybody can achieve probably what they're looking for. In stating that, I would have never expected where we are today.
Interesting. Okay. So maybe let's go back to when you're kind of, summer grade 9 working, laying cable. When did you know that you would kind of join the business? Or did you kind of think, hey, I'm going to do something like this, or like walk us through that process?
I'm not sure when I actually figured that out. The summer jobs just kept coming, and
yeah.
I loved working with my uncle and my cousin. So it was kind of a no-brainer that when I finished grade 12 that I was going to go to NAIT and take telecom, and then start working with them when it was over.
Yeah.
Obviously, there's lots of opportunities in that space, but I didn't even look anywhere else.
Okay. So maybe walk us through that path a little bit through the company, from kind of cable puller to sales to ops to president. Like what did your path look like?
So my path was definitely a cable puller. I think there was probably a spot in there where I got stuck in a roof with a screw in it, and it was a solid ceiling. So it was in a little crawl space.
Okay.
And I think I freaked out a little bit because I couldn't get back out.
Yeah.
With a screw stuck to my belt.
It could be nerve-wracking for sure.
At that point, I think I realized that I didn't want to run cable. So let's figure out how to do something different. So I took some training. We did contract work for the major telcos to start doing installations for them, whether it be, at that point, your only option really was on-premise PBX. And so I did training that way, which was great. I quite enjoyed it, doing what I do. The satisfaction, because you'd complete it in a day, maybe a week, or whatever the case may be. And you can look back and go, oh, job well done, or hopefully that's what you think anyways.
Yeah.
And then when I went from a technician, I started learning doing some sales engineering courses, still mostly doing all that stuff on the contract basis to the major telcos. And we had added a couple more people at that point. Okay. They were more doing the installs, and I was assisting to a certain degree. But it came to a point where we probably had 8 to 10 people that, if we're doing all these installs, why don't we start selling these products ourselves? In which case, that was a huge shift for us. And obviously that started some of the growth.
Yep.
That came about after, because at that point we started growing people, and then the sales started to come, and obviously now you're servicing your own customers on top of, we still were doing the contract basis to the telcos, which we still do some of that today. And a couple of years forward, your sales kept increasing, you're looking at new stuff. And then really, I would say 7 years ago, 2020, so it'll be 2017-ish, we tried implementing what's called EOS, which is your Entrepreneurial Operating System for another acronym. And really gives you purpose, direction, values, and how to get to certain areas. We picked a target that you don't know how you're going to get there. You just want to get there.
Yep.
And it's been a amazing hockey stick growth since then. Huge accountability within the business process itself. And I can't say enough about it. We used a well, let me take one step back there. So for the first 6-9 months, we probably tried self-facilitating, and that did not go well.
It's tough.
So we got a facilitator, certified implementer
Yep.
for EOS, and it's been fantastic along the way. It certainly teaches you that there's ceilings to be had, what happens, difficult conversations, because just because this person did fantastic in their job, when you hit a gross revenue of X dollar amount, and I don't think it matters what that dollar amount is,
Yep.
Unfortunately, they're not having fun anymore, and they're not doing the business any favors either.
Yep.
So if the core values fit, you can probably find somewhere in the business for them to reside. And it's putting somebody in there that'll allow you to get off that plateau and keep going.
Yep. Yeah. How do you facilitate that growth for yourself and for the people around you and those that the values fit?
And I joke today that at some point the company will outgrow what I can do.
That should be the hope, though, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And at some point when people look at me, they look at me today and think my ideas are strange, but when they really think my ideas are strange, maybe it's time to bring somebody in that can move it. Maybe when we get stagnant and our growth projections aren't where they should be, I'm not against replacing myself. And I think everybody should look at it that way. Nothing's forever. I love what I do, don't get me wrong. But I also don't want to stop what's happening at Sunco just because I love what I do.
Yep.
I'm sure I can find somewhere within the organization where I can still be a fit. It's just getting me to that spot and letting the company do their thing. We've grown to a point where there's pushing 70 people in our organization, which is lots of families. And I think you have to look at it that way, we outgrew we have lots of Schoenbergers in the group, but obviously at some point, they don't all want to be in telecom. I'm not sure why. But
and you can't fill the organization with them either.
So it's getting there and having fun and.
Nice. So let's maybe think about what was kind of maybe your, as you went through different levels of leadership in the organization and grew the business to a different place, what was kind of your first oh wow or oh shit moment within the business?
So anybody that knows has ever done a disc profile, I'm a hard D.
Okay.
And that is surprising to a lot of people, given I've had to learn along the way that to lead and manage people successfully, that is not being a hard D is not the way to go about it, because people don't like being told what to do, and you're not going to grow your business that way.
Yep. It can be challenging for certain people in the organization if you act that way, for sure.
So that was probably the biggest one, is learning. It's not a rule by what I say. It's come with ideas and let's figure this out together.
Yep.
There's no idea that shouldn't be untouched. That's how we grow. My ideas are by far not the best always. So bring your ideas. Let's look at using that.
Nice.
So that's probably where that started. And that was probably my first huge learning curve of, you do it this way, people aren't going to want to work for you, really.
Yeah. And sometimes you need to bend your natural tendencies to, do what's best for the organization and for your teams around you too.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So how did kind of your summer jobs and the different jobs that you did throughout the business as you were growing up really help prepare you for the leadership role?
Well, luckily everybody was open to the fact that I went and started going to conferences and listening to people speak at very young in my career. And that's potentially where I learned most of the different avenues on where to filter some of the tendencies, we'll call it, and what have you. I wouldn't say there's any one spot, but it's certainly conferences and going and listening to people speak. Like, I know you're a valuable speaker out there doing different talks at different stuff. And if you can get one key point, that's great. I mean, if you can get more than one, on any talk you listen to and take that away, it's an awesome speaker, in my opinion.
Yeah.
If you're going into a conference and you're thinking, I need to come away with 80 action items, you're probably going there for the wrong reasons.
Yep. That's fair.
And that's sort of where that led me to and that's where I learned probably most of my talks. I certainly joined the executive committee as well earlier on in my career.
Yep.
A huge believer in peer groups.
Yep.
Having a good facilitator in that peer group and having one-on-one coaching. They're certainly not to be your friends, because some of those conversations, they were very blunt about some of my ideas that potentially you're not getting internally.
Yeah, and the value of those peers too, going through similar things and be able to provide you with that feedback that's a little bit less objective sometimes, or a little bit less subjective is so valuable. So let's maybe transition into one of the other kind of tricky dynamics in businesses, particularly in family businesses, which is kind of the family chemistry side. So Sunco is led by yourself, and then Mike, who's the CEO, who's also your cousin that we heard about. How do you guys work together? How do you divide roles and keep decisions kind of clear?
EOS was really a huge portion of being able to develop those roles and responsibilities. So we're very good at kind of keeping in our own paths, as well as, we have weekly meetings to make sure that we're always on the same page. That's part of the EOS structure as well.
Okay.
So it's looking after, Mike does a lot of the sales and the culture side of the business, whereas being the president, I'd look after, still some of the sales given what I do, but also the operational and I get the lucky P&L on my shoulders as well to make sure that the company's running effectively. So, but I would say that we still overlap. I value his opinions, and I think he does the same for me. It's running ideas back and forth off each other to say, hey, what do you think about this before you go to the leadership team sometimes and what have you. We have this idea, and definitely if it's crazy, say we'll shelve it for 6 months, 12 months, and maybe it's not crazy in 12 months.
Yeah.
But we have, you hear good and bad things about family business. I would say that Mike would be right up there, cousin, best friend.
Nice. Those could be my next question. It sounded like you were quite close growing up, and how has kind of working and owning and leading a business together changed that relationship or enhanced it?
Yeah, I would say it's enhanced it for sure. Don't get me wrong, we have some difficult conversations.
Yep.
Right? Like there's nothing that goes by that says, and we have conversations, and he tells me that, well, when it comes to this stuff, maybe just sit there and don't speak. And that's fine, because I say the same thing to him. Yeah. I'm like, operation, because we joke between each other. He's the soft soul, and I'm the hard one with the D. So I think that part, knowing our strengths, has also made that stronger.
Yeah. Nice. So came in some of my research of the company before this, there was this concept of radical love that came up in some of the stuff. Well, can you explain that to me? How does that show up in the operations of your business? Where did that come from? Loaded question, maybe?
It is definitely a loaded question for sure. We treat everybody as family.
Okay.
It's part of our core values. I believe that, like I said earlier, we're an open book. Anybody in the organization can really come ask me anything. Happy to answer them. I mean, unless we're looking at something that we've had to sign an NDA for that I obviously can't talk about.
Yep.
We open door policy right from, if somebody internally comes and asks something that's financial on the books that they're just interested in, more than happy to have those conversations. I know some organizations don't.
Yep.
But I think being able to share all of that information kind of answers some of your question on that. Because if you're not a little radical, you're not probably doing some of those initiatives. Lots of people have closed book policies and what have you. I think if you're talking radical love, it can come out in so many facets of any sort of work culture. I mean, you could argue that the family culture that we strive to get, and obviously it's a big push because when you say family, you probably think one city. I mean, now we're multiple cities across Canada.
Yeah.
So it's trying to engage and make everybody feel like a family. So we do every Thursday, part of our culture, Mike does 30 minutes with Mike. And we bring in speakers onto the 30 minutes with Mike regarding culture. We also, in order to get to know people better, people sign up to say, and there'll be 15 questions with Sean.
Okay, nice.
And so that they know, and we bring up roles and stuff so that maybe they don't know what I do.
Yeah.
They just think they see me travel and I go say hi to people in different cities and what have you. But it's trying to get more personal when you're not face to face.
Yeah, no, and that can be a challenging thing too. We'll get into some questions around that a little bit. So with that kind of relationship you have with Mike and that radical love and the family side of the business, how do you kind of keep the business conversations from like spilling into your weekends and evenings, you know, if you're trying to watch the hockey game together or go out to the lake together? How do you divide that?
I'm a 100%, unless we're traveling for work, it's 8 to 5.
Okay.
My wife came in the business. Veronica's been great. She works in the admin team. Obviously has nothing to do with my role, and that's by design. But I don't talk about it. I go home after work, and it's something that you certainly have to work on.
Yep.
Because it doesn't come naturally, I would think, to most people.
No, yeah.
Especially, I mean, I get asked the occasional time because Veronica will know that I know the answer. So it's instead of me going through the proper channels, can I skip? And so and to a certain degree, I'm okay with that, but I do keep strict 8 to 5. Don't, like I said, unless I'm traveling for work, and that's a little different, or Mike and I travel together.
Yep.
And we'll talk business over dinner or whatever the case may be.
Okay.
But I go out to his lake lot and we don't have time to talk business. We're quadding or something, to going boating, whatever the case may be. It's not an issue as far as that goes. I think he's figured that out.
Yeah, so it's setting up those healthy boundaries and sticking to them.
That's right.
Yeah. Okay. So let's maybe zoom out a bit and go through, you know, kind of what's going on in the industry right now. You know, maybe before we get into there, you know, Sunco's smaller family-owned business. You know, the telecom business is typically huge, publicly traded giants. Some of them have family roots as well. But how does that give you an advantage?
An advantage, I believe, it goes back to us trying to give the personal touch, which is one of our values.
Okay.
And it's, I believe that, I'm trying to think, I'm not sure any of the major competitors of ours that are all answered by a voicemail. We strictly believe in having somebody answer the phone.
Yep.
And saying hello. And that might be bonjour or hello, depending on where you're calling from. Being a multilingual company now as well, we're happy to make sure that happens right across the country to see fit for anybody. And our goal is to have a live answer at any point whenever you phone our office. And I think that's a huge differentiator for us.
Nice. So what's, you know, since you've joined the business, or maybe in the last couple of years, what do you think is the biggest technology shift you've ever noticed, or ever, you know, that's hit the industry yet?
I've been in the industry for quite some time, so there's been a few.
And it could be VoIP, it could be cloud, it could be AI, it could be mobile.
You're probably, well, I never thought about it that way. Yeah. So when I first started, we carried a pager.
Yeah.
Now I'm answering people through our ERP on my cell phone, which is probably smarter than the computer I had back when I was looking at numbers showing up on my pager. So that, I would say, I mean, depending on who you're talking to, you could argue that that might have been just as large a paradigm shift as going to AI today.
Yeah. And if not, I almost feel like it's more drastic. But we don't know where we're going to end up on AI yet.
That's right. Yeah, we're just at the start of the AI journey today.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that probably is one of them. I was here when we went from on-premise to cloud. Huge shift. Obviously, our AI discussion. Now that probably in the last year or two, well, ChatGPT gave it the big push when it launched for public use.
Yeah.
Right. And now for businesses, now that they're getting the policies and what have you for large business underway, they're starting to use it more effectively. And what it can do is really out of this world. I'm not even sure that we've touched the surface of that yet.
No.
So yeah, it's pretty exciting. I'm a huge tech nerd. When you call me, you can reach me on my watch, my phone, my iPad, my computer.
Yeah.
It's
everywhere. Right?
Obviously, some people don't want that. Me being a tech guy, I love all that stuff. So it's seeing where we'll go in 5 years. I can't even imagine that in my head right now.
It's crazy. Yeah. So being kind of that tech nerd, how do you evaluate shiny new tech when it comes into the business? You know, whether it's Copilot or Edge or whatever it is, how do you kind of balance your maybe personal desire for that technology adoption with kind of risk and culture and family?
So luckily, Mike is also a tech nerd.
Okay. That helps.
We usually play with it ourselves first.
Okay.
I have IT on board with letting me play with certain tools and what have you. And it went as far as our ERP is called ConnectWise, and they have their own AI built in within it called Sidekick.
Nice.
That they launched. And I asked our IT department, I'm like, can I play with this? And then I showed them what it could do once I started getting in there and playing with the tools. And I know that's not my role. So it all went through IT, and I'm like, they mentioned me when we were deploying it as a team, but I certainly said, I was like, I don't care if my name's not on it. Yeah. It's a tool that could help our teams get better service and the customer experience for our customers significantly better and improved. Just how it can say that, looking back, and you had to put in a ticket for a phone not working for X reason, and you ask it and it'll be like, well, this happened 6 months ago, 12 months ago to it, try it again. And if that doesn't fix it, it gives you like 5 different other options on how to fix the problem in the span of 30 seconds.
Wow.
I don't even know how to explain stuff like that. It's the tools that are coming out, or the possibilities are endless.
Yeah. And lots of people, their fear about AI is it's going to reduce, job opportunities. Have you seen anything like that at Sunco yet? Have you said, we can get rid of 7 of our 70 people because we have AI now?
No, I think it'll enhance what they do.
Yeah. We
do say at Sunco, I mean, if it's a mundane, repeatable task, let's automate it and have AI do it for you.
Yeah.
In most cases, they'd rather be doing something else. I know I don't want to compare 2 spreadsheets that change week to week, and that's 8 hours a day. I'm looking at a spreadsheet and looking at another spreadsheet, going, what's different?
Yeah.
When something can do it for me in 5 minutes, and I can do something that I enjoy.
Yeah.
I think that's a better way to look at it than it's going to replace me. Assuming you embrace it, it'll enhance what you do.
Yeah, when all the research that we're doing on it is really about, AI is here to augment us and make us be able to do more of what we're good at and what we want to. So it's almost more of like enhancing that purpose. So let's dive into some of the acquisitions that I talked about in the intro. Hopefully I even said the company names right. But there's Isosceles and Zayu. Why acquire instead of, build these things internally?
It's a fair question. The Isosceles acquisition, we tried to create an MSP within our organization organically. And the growth wasn't there given our significant base in the telecom industry already, that we couldn't meet our customers' needs.
Okay.
So it was, how do we get somewhere quick to achieve what we're looking for from a customer experience standpoint without telling them that we can't help you?
Yep.
So looking at the expertise that Isosceles had, luckily, I mean, it came across from a partnership that I know. They're like, hey, they're looking. And it was just an introduction that way. And the team members at Isosceles that came on board, they're just such great people.
Nice.
I go down there and visit, and yeah, I can't say enough. Their values are in the right spot. It's making a connection, right?
Yeah.
And
So
I think that's
business wise and values wise and cultural wise, it all aligned and made sense.
That's right. Yeah.
Nice. And then, so, expanding into Ontario and Eastern Canada is often a really difficult thing for family businesses, especially Western Canadian-based family businesses, and they often struggle with that a lot. Regardless of the market, there's big players out there wherever you are. But what was kind of your strategy to successfully move into some of these markets?
So we were in those markets before on a small degree. We contracted it out. We didn't have many people there doing it. So it was figuring out a path on how we could get there faster. And to your point, I had people telling me, don't open an office there organically. We've tried it. It doesn't work.
Yep.
And I heard that from several people. So the way to look at it from an acquisition perspective, how can we get it that the people are there, the footprint's there, there's customers there, and hopefully there's brand recognition. So we luckily, again, the Zayo acquisition opportunity came up, something we looked at. The turnaround was probably, I think September to March, end of March, which for an acquisition was incredibly quick.
Yeah.
Through due diligence and what have you. I mean, it wasn't a full acquisition. So to your point, we were just taking their PBX on-premise based business. So we were only getting operational staff.
Okay.
Which made it a little easier because we weren't overlapping any roles really. We were bringing 16 people on board that we needed to service the customers they had today.
Yeah.
And since then, it's allowed us to grow our own base in Ontario, Quebec, the Northwest Territories, and even going into the Maritimes.
Nice. So when we, culture often kind of feeds into, leadership. How do you, what's maybe your leadership style, and how does it contrast with kind of Mike and his dad's?
I think our leadership styles are probably similar at this point. I don't think any of us think micromanaging is the answer.
Yep.
It's letting people have their full potential. Don't put them in a box and say, don't leave the box. You can put them in a box, but see how high you can jump out of the box.
Yep.
And I think everybody has that philosophy. I mean, Mike and I, for sure, going back to my uncle back in the day, Uncle Paul, it was, if you're going from point A to Z, he didn't care how you got there. Just as long as you can get there and it looks nice.
Yeah.
Because at that point it was cabling. So it was, as long as I can look up and it looks neat.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter how you get to the end result. His goal is just to get there. Yep. So I think his leadership style was similar, and some of that would have came from there as well.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. So and Sunco has a large role kind of in the community where you operate. You kind of mentioned your experience at NAIT, but you guys are big supporters of NAIT, and then I think the other one that came up was the Ontario Hockey League. How do those come up? Why are they strategic? Why do you choose to invest in and support the community in those ways?
So I mean, NAIT's a big one. We all went to NAIT. I think giving back to the community is great.
Yep.
And so yeah, we're starting a sponsorship with NAIT as well, coming this September with some different, I think there's 3 or 4 we're looking at from if certain grades, what have you, as far as that goes, to help people out that are going to NAIT to make sure that they can go the next year or maybe even the first year.
Yeah.
From an OHL side, just lucky, I guess. I'm a huge hockey person.
Mm-hmm.
I played my entire life. I coach. I still coach today. Both my boys play hockey.
Nice.
And we're definitely a hockey family. And I think everybody for the most part, sees that in our organization.
Mm-hmm.
And from the OHL perspective, I happened to meet their marketing person at an event. And they didn't have a telecom MSP partner.
Okay.
So I was like, let's chat. And we were trying to grow the Ontario business. Oddly enough, that conversation had started probably a little bit after the conversation with Zayo started. So it was, all the pieces were really falling into, hey, we can really get the Sunco brand out there instead of the Zayo brand, teaming up with the OHL, which is, I didn't even probably realize how big the OHL is in Ontario until we started doing business with them. And it's such a great organization. They give back to charities and what have you as well. So I've done a couple charity golf tournaments with the OHL and such. And I think the opportunities there are just great. We do also sponsor some kids' sports teams and what have you as well.
Nice. To
try and give back. I do think giving back to community, and I mean, part of our goals within EOS is environmental social governance. Mm-hmm. So we're looking at doing some different things, and even this upcoming year, which will actually be first heard here as outside of the leadership team, that come our next fiscal year, potentially we're going to do 2 volunteer days off. So you just have to show us that you have to, I'm volunteering at XYZ company, and it's you get paid to go volunteer there for the day from Sunco.
That's wonderful. So, some of these other organizations that you've acquired or work with may or may not have been family businesses. But as you grow, as you get outside of, the one office where you and Mike might have been all the time, how do you keep that family feel and that family culture ingrained in all of these other offices and companies?
I think that's, I alluded back to the 30 minutes with Mike earlier. I think that's really part of it. I travel to try and go and meet all of our staff.
Yep.
I think seeing people not just over video, but face to face, I think is still the personal touch. I think that goes a long ways. Mm-hmm. There's always different ways to look at things, but I think knowing people in your organization instead of them being a number makes a huge difference from a values standpoint. Like, they're just, these people love what they do as well. Yeah. And most of them have been doing it for several years. If they're part of something bigger, everybody enjoys it and they love what they do.
Okay. And is that where Sunco Funco family came from?
Sunco Funco, yeah. So Sunco Funco, yeah, we were actually just playing around with, I'm actually surprised at that. I didn't realize that was outside of our office space, to be honest. We created that internally, yeah, just as a fun, let's do something post it, what have you. I mean, some of us have Sunco Funco email addresses and stuff.
Nice.
So we have a kind of a test Microsoft domain that's I think it kind of like our first dot last name at sunco.ca, and I want to say it's first dot last name at suncofunco.ca or what have you. It's just something we like to have fun with, and yeah, I think it all started. The idea came from somebody on our MSP team, I want to say, and great idea, and being able to share and how you can do those things. And now I believe we've even started the Sunco Funco is hashtagged, and
Nice.
And you'll see it on social media to add to it, and it does make me chuckle when I see it, knowing where it started.
Yeah, I can tell you were a little surprised by that question too. So we're going to move into something called the lightning round. So we got 5 questions, super like 5 to 10 word answers, not a lot of thought, rapid fire.
Okay.
So, first tech or geek toy that you bought with your own paycheck.
Palm Pilot.
Okay, nice. Dress code, suit and tie or jeans and company golf shirt?
Jeans and company golf shirt.
Okay. Fiber splice kit, cloud dashboard, Sunco Funco email address, anything else? Favorite tool you can't live without?
Copilot.
Oh, interesting. Best 1 sentence advice your cousin Mike ever gave you?
He was a wealth of knowledge. Look at where you start, not at where you end.
Nice. Next city you want to see a Sunco branch in?
Vancouver.
Okay. Nice. So let's transition and kind of wrap up with some legacy and lessons and kind of some future looking conversations. So how are you and Mike maybe grooming the next generation, whether it's family or non-family, to kind of lead the next chapter of Sunco?
I think that's where Nate comes in, is bringing youth into the organization.
Yep.
And that'll help us grow for years to come.
Yep, that makes sense. And are you kind of encouraging, your kids or your nieces or nephews to go into a similar program and follow a similar path?
Yeah, I mean, I'm certainly open to my kids. My kids are 11 and 13, so they're not quite looking at that path yet. Mike has one, and he worked actually summers with us for a couple of years.
Okay.
So I'd love to see him back at some point. A great person. Certainly from a value perspective, Pierce is what a value he could bring to the organization. So we'll see if he managed to come back. He wanted to find his own way first,
yeah,
which is completely fair.
Yeah, and pretty normal for family businesses as well. You want that identity piece sometimes. How does a cousin partnership kind of change about how you think about ownership or long-term perspective?
I think we chat about long-term perspective quite often, and being able to always be in a spot where we can help along the way, even as we get older. Mm-hmm. I think we've chatted about creating a board to be able to facilitate that. And maybe at some point we just sit on a board in order to kind of keep that going.
Okay. And then if you think maybe 5 years out, and I know 5 years with AI is a whole lot of time, what do you think kind of some of the biggest external threats and biggest external opportunities are for Sunco?
External threats would be, I mean, who knows where AI is going? Microsoft, Google, those would probably be your big ones. Are they going to manage to take over the telecom industry? Maybe, but I mean, I'm not sure either.
Yeah.
And then from an opportunity standpoint, I think that AI can help our customers and the experience, as well as our internal teams, be able to just go to the next level.
Yeah.
How do I get somewhere where I didn't even fathom I could be at? AI can potentially get you there.
Yep. So really help, find those opportunities and improvement areas. So maybe top lesson that you would share with whether it's a student at NAIT or U of A or a next generation family member just starting out. What advice would you give to them?
There's lots. It would be certainly lead with your heart. I think would probably be one of the biggest ones. I think being natural and being yourself, I think people see that and they want to work with you when you're just yourself.
Okay.
If you're just a suit and a tie and you're a completely different person outside of where you are, people notice that.
Makes sense. Maybe book or book that's most changed or shaped how you think about business or the world. Or maybe top book recommendation.
There's quite a few EOS books that I've read, and I really think probably one of the best along the ways would be Atomic Habits. I think would be great.
Yep. Yeah. No, that one and Traction are both pretty popular on here.
For sure.
So maybe first, if you were starting out again and think, getting back into, Sean, age 25, what advice would you give yourself?
So I say this within our organization as well as don't look at the first step on the stairwell. See where the ending goes and try and work backwards.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense. And then maybe further thinking or further reaching, what kind of legacy do you hope that the Schoenberger family or Sunco leaves?
I want to see Sunco run past my generation, realistically, and I hope that we're looking to set it up that way so that it'll just there's families that rely on us as a business, and it's trying to make sure that just because I'm not here doesn't mean that the 35, 40 other families, give or take, should have to go find a new place to work if they love what they do. Mm-hmm. So, and the reason I say 35, 40 is because, family-run business, we actually have some husband and wives, partners, what have you, that work within Sunco as well.
And maybe final question here to wrap up. So if you have anything else you want to add, it'd be a good place to kind of put it in as well. But what would be your advice to someone joining a family business or going to work for their uncle or their cousin for the first time?
I think the biggest part would be setting the ground rules of whatever your business hours are.
Yep.
That's when you talk business. You're at a family reunion. Don't bring up job number 1, 2, 3, 4. Maybe ask them how his lawn's looking, or ask the person, hey, how's the family? Certainly don't leave work at work.
Yep. So again, that healthy boundary, coming back to that.
100%.
Nice. So Sean, I want to thank you very much for coming on the show today and sharing kind of how your family has scaled this telecom integrator into a national player without kind of losing that heart and that radical love and that Sunco Funco culture that makes you fun and unique. Listeners, if Sean's insights on acquisitions and culture and next generation leadership and the piece of love in the business really sparked your interest, feel free to learn more about Sunco and ABFI in the show notes. I think for me today, some of the takeaways from the episode really is just about, the power of collaborating and working with people openly. That kind of proactive ability to set boundaries so you can keep work at work and home at home. And then, the value of those peer networks and thinking about things like boards and succession and legacy, all which are really close to ABFI's heart and really what we do on a day-to-day basis. So I want to thank you for for sharing with us today and for that alignment to kind of our mission. And just really happy to see kind of the growth that Sunco has had as a family business in Alberta and across Western Canada. So if you enjoyed the episode, you can follow Table Talk to stay up to date on episodes. If you want to connect, you can send me an email at matt.knight@ualberta.ca. You can follow us on LinkedIn, and you can learn more about ABFI and the University of Alberta at abfi.ca. Once again, I'm Matt Knight. Today we were joined with Sean with Sunco. Thank you for joining Table Talk. We'll see you next time.
Thank you very much, Matt. Appreciate it.
This series is proudly produced by the team at Road 55. Road 55 creates content that connects. For more information, visit our website at road55.ca.